Yo, what is going on, you guys, and welcome back to part 2 of my pre-write for Marvel's Spider-Man 2. If you do enjoy all types of these videos, including all Spider-Man pre-writes, stories, and fanfictions, make sure to hit that subscribe button and hit the bell next to the subscribe button to not miss any more content in the future as soon as it gets released. And also, if you'd like to join the conversation about all things Spider-Man, why not join the Discord server? Click the link in the description down below. But without further ado, let's get into this. You guys have been requesting part 2, Marvel's Spider-Man 2 pre-write. Part 2. Peter is angry in himself. Him and Miles reevaluate the situation. Miles asks, what the hell was that and how did that happen? Peter says that is Dr. Connors, also known as the Lizard. Miles asks what happened, and Peter says to Miles that he may have accidentally given Connors the formula that transformed him into that giant monster. He says to Miles that this isn't the first time Dr. Connors had become the Lizard. At this point in the game, we shall flash back as Peter explains to Miles what happened, thus thrusting us into another battle with the Lizard, just as in the first game you could battle the Vulture at Empire State University. As Peter explains, we will fight the Lizard early in Spider-Man's career. Spider-Man Year 1 to be exact. Peter says that he has always been fascinated with his missing arm and growing it back. He believes that the science is there for it to be done. He used the Lizard DNA to hopefully have its regenerative abilities fused with his own DNA and regrow a lost body part. After he became the Lizard, Dr. Connors was rehabilitated and then got a job at Oscorp, explains Peter. Peter also explains that he had to get a job at Oscorp to pay the bills. He got an internship working with Dr. Connors. He found documents and files regarding his missing arm showing he was still obsessed with the idea of regrowing it. Peter says that he tried to take the situation into his own hands by coming up with a formula himself, so Connors didn't become the Lizard once again. However, that isn't what ended up happening. Connors is the Lizard, and it's all Peter's fault. We cut to Norman as he's out on city business. He is going to multiple meetings each day to try and rejuvenate his mayor status. After the last game, he resigned. However, after the dust is settled, Norman wants to regain his power back. The amount of stress put on Norman after the end of the last game with the controversies surrounding Oscorp have severely decreased Norman's mental health, pushing him further down a darker path. That is the character arc I want to push for Norman in this game, which is a man losing everything around him. Not just losing power, but losing allies and friends too. We cut back to Miles and Peter. They both decide that they will split ways and try and find the Lizard by themselves to try and cover more ground. This is the point in the story in which we follow Miles for a short period of time. In this time, we will do a few things for Feast and help out Rio Morales. We will also get a few scenes with Ganke reflecting on the events of his game once again. I want to build this character as much as possible, as well as Peter. After this, we will get a call from Peter who has found the Lizard underground in a sewer. We will switch back to Peter, and this is where we will have our first problem-solving mission of the game. I would want this mission to allow us as the player to put clues together to track down the Lizard, including trails, claw marks, etc. Maybe Peter could have some DNA analyzer technology in his suit that could allow us to track the Lizard down as well. As the sewer system would be very big, complex and twisting, I think this problem-solving maze could provide for some really nice, diverse and unique gameplay, and perfect for the sequel, something that we didn't see in the first game. This would also allow us to explore the sewer system of New York, as after this mission, the sewer system could be open for free roam or potentially a way of even fast traveling around the city. Anyhow, after the mission is complete, Peter and Miles will finally have found the Lizard, and this is where we will have our second big fight with him. This time it won't be so easy as it's in the sewer, once again providing a really unique fight compared to the first Lizard fight. By switching up the terrain, Peter and Miles would have to use the walls, whilst also avoiding the slippy damp parts of the sewer walls to fight the Lizard. Peter and Miles would once again use tag team abilities as seen in the Marvel Spider-Man 2 trailer to try and take down the Lizard. But once again, after the battle was done, the Lizard would escape. Miles nor Peter could go face to face with the fierce beast, especially in his own territory. This is the point in the story in which I want Peter to start to become frustrated, tapping into those dark emotions, something that we will revisit very shortly. After everything that happened with Dr. Otto Octavius, and as everything seemed it was on the way up, the Lizard is back out on the loose. Not to mention, like we said before, it's all Peter's fault. Peter and Miles will have a scene where Peter's frustrations are clearly being expressed. Miles tells him that he is losing his head, and Peter says that it's not that simple since Dr. Connors and himself go way back. Peter needs to fix this situation, but it's out of his hands. We cut a little later in the story. Though this period of time, you as the player will do tasks around the city, and this is a chance to be introduced to new side quests, which, like I said before, could include small lizard sewer side missions where you will go around the sewer and problem solve. These could be really cool and unique side missions to go on. This will happen along with a few other scenes with side characters like MJ and Rio until we get to our next battle with the lizard. However, this time in the battle, both Spider-Men will have the aid of Kraven the Hunter. At the end of the battle, when it all looks as if Miles and Peter will once again fail to beat the lizard, Kraven the Hunter will make his first appearance and will come in and help both of them. This is when we're introduced to our second main villain of the game, Kraven. However, Kraven won't be a villain straight away. He will start out as an ally. We will be able to go out on quests that Kraven will set out for us, similar to how we got the Prowler side missions and collectibles in the Miles game. Despite Kraven's aid, both Spider-Men still fail to beat the lizard. However, after the battle, we will start to see frustration within Peter be carried out onto Kraven, as Peter starts to become agitated that Kraven seems to have an upper hand on him when it comes to tracking and hunting the lizard. You see, Kraven's abilities in this game will perfectly match what is needed to fight and hunt down the lizard, and obviously because Peter is so close with Dr. Connors and that personal relationship is there, Peter will start to become agitated as he's already flared up with emotion, and he'll start to take it out onto Kraven, as it seems that Kraven is more suited to the job than either Miles or Peter. And like I said, Kraven is better than him. He eclipses Peter not in brute strength, but in hunting technique, ability, weaponry, and intelligence in battle. However, during all of this, Peter will continue his Oscorp internship despite there being an absence of Dr. Connors. However, it will be Norman that will give him the blessing to carry on. This in turn will bring Norman and Peter closer with one another, once again showcasing that relationship that they had for all of those years, which stretches back to Peter's high school days. A couple of scenes will pass during this time and Norman will be moving Harry from the Osborn mansion into Oscorp for some more rigorous testing on the symbiote that cannot be completed with the technology available to him at his house. This will be kept a secret as no one knows of Harry's condition. The symbiote will be in the midst of Oscorp Industries whilst Peter is working there, and you can probably guess what will happen next. In this time, we will learn more about the symbiote and its personality. The reason it still needs a lot of testing done on it is because it comes with dramatic side effects. Ones that, if Harry is to be let free out of the incubator, could potentially turn him into a monster. However, the symbiote is alive. Its complex symbiotic nature wants to bond with the strongest companion, in which, if you couldn't guess, would be Peter Parker. Since the symbiote would be able to sense the strength, mind, and agility of Peter, the symbiote would see Peter as a perfect target to bond with. Thus, when taken to Oscorp in the vicinity of Parker, the symbiote will break away from its cage and hunt down Peter. It would conspicuously tie itself to the back of Peter's leg. Fast forward a few scenes, really expanding on these characters, showing Peter's frustration once again, and we will finally have the symbiotic Spider-Man suit in Marvel's Spider-Man 2. However, the symbiote will gain full custody over Peter's body at night time, and just for a bit of fun, I would like to throw in the classic hanging upside down scene from the 90s cartoon and Spider-Man 3, which would throw us into some gameplay where Peter will explore his new powers. This will be a very exciting point in the game, as we will go around to stop some various crimes around New York as Symbiote Spider-Man. This section of the game will act as a tutorial for the symbiote and its abilities. This is where we will unlock what I like to call the symbiote screen in the menu. This will be the place in which, instead of purchasing gadgets to aid your crime fighting, you can unlock abilities with the power of the symbiote. A lot of inspiration from this idea was taken from Spider-Man Web of Shadows, the game, where you would have different fighting style and animations to the normal Spider-Man attire. I think the same should be done here and would be a really nice feature. Not only this, but every option for a suit change would also come with a symbiote variation, which would be really cool. However, one thing I will say is that at this point in the story, when it comes to free roam, you will be locked into having the symbiote suit. You will not be allowed to roam freely and play missions in other suits that do not include the symbiote, because I think that takes and breaks away the eeriness of the story that is being told. However, the reason why we have a symbiote variation of other suits is so that you can actually switch between the suits as you would do normally. However, they just have the symbiote on them instead, meaning that no matter what suit you pick, you will still technically have the symbiote attached to you. So it's kind of a compromise where you can still switch to whatever suit you want, but it will have the symbiote. Anyway, moving back to the main story. Peter getting the symbiote at this part of the story will aid with the Kraven storyline as well, thickening the rivalry, as Peter will start to grow more confident in classic symbiote fashion. He will start to be cocky and Miles will notice this. Miles will start to notice Peter going down this dark path in which he hoped he wouldn't. Like I said previously, Miles' story is to have him feel the weight of all of his closest friends take that dark path. Just like the Tinkerer in his game, Peter has started taking a darker route. MJ will also notice this in the way that Peter is behaving and will call him out on this. This will further fuel Peter's anger and obsession with trying to find the lizard once and for all, as it is all Peter can think about at this moment in time. We cut to the latter half of the Lizard and Kraven story, where Peter, Miles, and Kraven find themselves in pursuit of the Lizard. The three of them will work together to finally take him down. At the end of the fight, Kraven says that he wants to kill the Lizard once and for all, as it's been plaguing New York for all this time. And this tips Peter over the edge with the symbiote as well. Kraven says that he is too dangerous to be left alive, and Peter says that that's his friend. This initiates the first fight with Kraven and Spider-Man, whilst Miles is in the middle not knowing what to do. They will go at each other until Kraven is beaten. Kraven, who would normally stand a pretty good chance against Spider-Man, has now been beaten because of the symbiote. Peter looks like he could finish him off before Miles drags him away. There was something within Peter there that no one had seen before. They both drag Dr. Connors to safety and make sure he is okay. But before we come to the end of the second act, we catch up with Norman Osborn. He goes to the lab where Harry is being kept to find the symbiote is gone and his son's vitals are dropping by the day. He needs to find the symbiote and fast, whilst the highest of high Oscorp tech struggles to keep his son's body alive. Norman does some digging and it looks as if Spider-Man has stolen the symbiote. It's all over the news, but increased strength, the look, the aggression, they're all attributes of the symbiote. Norman doesn't know how or why, but he will get it back. He's angry, upset. After resigning, the stress of trying to regain power as a politician, the controversies of Oscorp, and now this. Norman fishes for a contact, someone to help him, and sees the expertise of Kraven the Hunter, his recent hunt against New York's Lizard. Promising him new weapons, advanced technology, and much more, Norman grovels to Kraven to hunt Spider-Man down, even if it be his last. And after his last fight with Spider-Man, Kraven non-reluctantly agrees. That is it for part 2 of Marvel's Spider-Man 2 pre-write. If you did enjoy this part, make sure to hit that like on the video and make sure to hit that subscribe button if you have not already, and make sure to hit the bell next to the subscribe button so you do not miss another video as soon as it comes out on the channel, and so you do not miss part 3 and the final part to my pre-write for Marvel's Spider-Man 2. Thank you all for watching, and like I did say at the start of the video, make sure to join the Discord server if you have not already so you can get involved in all types of conversations regarding Marvel, Spider-Man, Moon Knight. We're talking about Moon Knight right now as well. Make sure to come on over and you can talk to me, you can talk to a bunch of other people who love the same things as you. With that being said, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care and peace.